All right, here we are with another episode of Reminiscing with History Makers with Barry Furey.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be able to meet people that have had a great impact in Apco. And I'd like to ask you a few questions and get to know you, and our members will get to know you, and then we will keep these videos forever so that generations to come will be able to see some of our history makers.
Oh, it's certainly my pleasure.
Awesome. When did you join Apco?
I joined Apco in 1983, and I had already been in public safety more than a decade at that point, but hadn't really become acquainted with Apco. Remember that this is certainly pre-social media, pre-internet days, and so word about Apco was passed really by word of mouth and from one person to another person.
So describe your agency, your position, and brief responsibilities and your length of service.
Well, currently I am Director of Emergency Communications for Raleigh-Wake County Emergency Communications Center. And my job is really to head up a multi-jurisdictional, multi-service PSAP that dispatches or takes calls for more than 40 agencies countywide.
Very good. So Raleigh, is that
Raleigh.
North Carolina?
North Carolina, that is the capital of North Carolina. Our total service population is rapidly approaching 1 million as we sit here and speak.
What chapter are you in?
I am in the North Carolina chapter currently. However, I have been a member of the Alabama chapter. I've been president of the Tennessee chapter. I've been a member of the Atlantic chapter, and I've been vice president of the Illinois chapter. So I've moved around during my public safety career quite a bit, but have always been a member of Apco.
That's incredible. You might have the record for how many
I might.
chapters.
I'm not quite sure. But
and not only those chapters, but held positions in.
Yeah.
So elected positions. That's fantastic. Describe what course drew you to join Apco. Was a particular person influential in getting you to join?
Yeah, certainly. It's actually a person I worked with back in New York, which is where I started my career. As I tell people, 20 minutes or 2 hours from New York City, depending upon the time of day, but a suburban sheriff's department, and a gentleman by the name of John Maury, who was an Apco member back in the day, would bring in what we older members will always refer to as the bulletin, and I would read it, and he would tell me about Apco and what they were doing, and so I decided, hey, this looks like something I'd want to sign up for on my own. And back in those days, our agency didn't support any outside activities like many agencies do today. And so basically I decided, hey, it's worth my few dollars a year to become a member of this organization because it looks like they're trying to do the right thing.
Very good. Can you describe your Apco activities at the state chapter and national level during your tenure at Apco, and what was your favorite?
Well, as I indicated, I've been the chapter president in Tennessee. I've been a vice president in Illinois. I've served as legislative chair in North Carolina. I have served on or chaired a number of national 911 committees for Apco International. But my most favorite activity of all was being the conference chair of the 2002 Apco International Conference when it was held in Nashville. And it was especially poignant because that was the first time that the annual conference was held after 9/11. So there was obviously concern about security. There was certainly no dearth of information to discuss, and Homeland Security at that time became, and ever since then I think, has become included in the agenda at Apco conferences, where before it was talked about, but not to the degree that it is today. So that, without a doubt, was my favorite activity in all the years I've been involved.
I remember that conference. I was there. It was my very first Apco International Conference.
Well,
So
we were glad to have you.
it was a great conference, and I'm sure many of our members will remember that one as well. Has your Apco membership had a direct effect on your career in public safety communications?
Oh, certainly. As I indicated, I moved around quite a bit, which has been a blessing, the ability to see how things are done in other states and other jurisdictions. And I believe that all of the jobs that I have found through Apco. So that in itself has been a tremendous benefit. But sharing and networking on many committees that I've been involved with has just been provided me with invaluable information to bring back to my jurisdiction. So Apco is obviously a good investment.
Yes. What do you like most about Apco?
What do I like most about Apco? The ability to network with professionals who really care about what they're doing and who really know what they're doing. To me, if the conference were nothing but networking, it would be a success, because this is the one time a year when I get to spend face time with my colleagues.
Very good. What does Apco do better than anyone else?
I think Apco, better than anyone, provides a platform where a wide range of people in the telecommunications industry can learn and share. From a dispatcher to a radio technician to an IT technician, supervisor, center manager, commercial member, there's a place for everybody in Apco, and I believe that is really what's done the best here.
What does Apco need to do to move forward and stay current?
Apco needs to continue some of the things that they're already doing, and by that I mean influence with Federal Communications Commission and other regulatory bodies, because technology is changing so quickly, and technology changes work on almost an international level, that no one local agency or no one state can stay abreast of or make a change in those type of legislation. So Apco needs to continue their relationship sort of as a I don't necessarily want to use the lobbyist, but basically work in favor of the Apco members. Another thing that they really need to do, in my mindset, is to follow up on things like the original Project Retains, and I know they followed up with committees since then, but I think we've all identified the problem. What I would like to see Apco concentrate in the next few years is really solving that problem, to become proactive in things like staffing and benefits for telecommunicators. It's something that I haven't been able to do in my career, but I would love for someone else to leave that legacy, to really not only look at the technical side of things, but really place a higher degree of concentration on professional development.
What stands out as a significant contribution during your time in office?
For me personally?
Yes.
I'll go back, I think, to working as the chair of the conference in 2002, and working with Apco staff to pull together what I think was a fitting platform for ideas to be expressed after 9/11. It was a very difficult time for public safety, and there was a balance that had to be maintained between the fun that you typically have at an Apco conference, but yet the seriousness of what we had dealt with almost a year before. So I would say, if anything, that I hope will stand as part of my legacy.
So, Barry, what is your most favorite Apco memory?
Probably can't be published. My favorite Apco memory may well be getting the presidential award in 2001 from President Hanna. Could be getting my life membership, but I've been involved in a lot of things from Apco, from being an adjunct institute instructor way back in the day, to chairing wireless sessions for Apco International. So really, I've had people from time to time come up and just thank me for something that I've done, which to me wasn't anything grand or grandiose. So it's just really the friendship of the people that I've made along the way in Apco. That's probably the biggest memory of all.
Very good. Well, I thank you for your time
Thank you.
today and your contribution to this great organization.
Well, it's been my pleasure.